Dave will give us a little tour of the Nina a little later on in the show. Well, the rise of the internet has caused an explosion in the number of people addicted to pornography. It's easy to access, is often free, and can be found without even leaving home, making it dangerously easy to become addicted. So here with help for this debilitating problem that no one really wants to talk about, we welcome, and please welcome, the author of The Porn Trap, therapists Wendy and Larry Maltz. Good to have you with us. Let me ask you first, Wendy, porn has changed over the years, hasn't it?
Oh yes, it's very easy to get to because of the internet and because of cable television. And you know, before people could see in, like they'd have Playboy and they might look at that a little bit on occasion,
right,
and have to get a subscription or have to go into a video store to get porn. But now it's like 24/7 in any variety, and it's more intense and extreme than ever before. And
Larry, your clients, are you seeing more clients whose marriages are being destroyed by this and families destroyed by this?
Absolutely. You know, 30 years ago when we first started our practices, there was absolutely no indicator that the pornography was causing problems in relationships.
Well, in fact, didn't therapists use sometimes to recommend to their clients, couples, to watch an X-rated movie once in a while to kind of get things going? And
yes, and in fact, in our training, we were given that kind of training to do that. And in some cases, it actually, back 20 years ago, 15 years ago, when couples were looking at erotic videos or erotic films together, it sometimes would enhance their relationship and their intimacy together. But what's happened recently here in the last 10 years with the rise of the internet is that individuals are going to the internet and going to pornography on the internet individually, secretively, and deceptively, and leaving their partners out of the process and developing their own relationship with pornography separate from their partners and leaving their partners out of the intimate experience.
I can relate to that. I had a friend who, her husband became so addicted that she felt insecure and she felt it was her fault. And you see that too in your practice, right?
That's a very common feeling. And a lot of women feel they have to compete with porn now.
Right.
And you see it in the fashion and everything, and even among young teenage girls. And it's kind of sad. But really, this is more like an addiction. The product works like an addiction. It affects the brain, it affects dopamine production, and people get hooked on it. And so it's not really a matter of not being attractive enough. Mm-hmm. It's that you're up against something that is very powerful.
And understand that teenage boys and girls are becoming addicted as well, and then skewing their future, really.
Oh yes.
Absolutely.
It can create a lot of unwanted sexual interests. People can spin off because it becomes an addiction. They get tired of one thing and they go to something a little more extreme. Before they know it, they're into interests that are not healthy and that would not help an intimate relationship.
All right, let's talk about what can we do in general. What can families do?
Well, talking about it is one of the things, and that's one of the reasons we wrote The Porn Trap, is to get the word out that this is serious and it's going on. There are many people who are accessing internet pornography. Pornography is one of the most, it's the big thing on the internet.
Right.
And so you're having a lot of people exposed to it and a lot of people now encountering serious problems. So talking about it, talking about how it's easy to slide into it and can be very difficult to get out of it, and also presenting options where you have healthy sex education. We've got to start breaking the silence.
Well, it causes multiple problems. You talk about it causes social isolation for people, mood disorders. So if you start seeing some of this, maybe even in your kids or your spouse, this might be partly to blame.
Yes, I think you have to bring up the subject, and kids will now need to be educated about it at earlier and earlier ages. 11 years old is the average age of first exposure to pornography, and that's been going down even younger with the internet.
You also talk too about people start learning to objectify others, engaging in risky behavior, correct? And then leaving your partners in a lot of pain often.
Yeah.
That's very true. And one thing that we need to point out, too, is that people are engaging in more and more looking at child pornography, which is illegal and which can really run a person, if they're accessing child pornography and the authorities catch you, you know, that can result in serious prosecution. And the FBI now has child pornography, people looking at child pornography as the number 3 priority in what they're trying to crack down on, and doing sting operations even.
You touch on how people can learn to quit, how they can reduce exposure, all of that in your book, which we don't have time to get to. So again, the title of the book is The Porn Trap, and we're going to put a link from our website to your website if people would like to find out more on how to help their families as well. Thank you both very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.